what was your first musical memory in life?
Oh, I know exactly what it was. We had just moved, it was 1969. We had just moved to Canada from England. We bought a we did not have a television, but my parents decided to buy a record player, but we had no records. Okay. And so I went with my mother to the public library, and we checked out 2 records. Peter, Paul, and Mary Greatest Hits, okay, which I listened to once and was like, eh. And Bridge Over Troubled Water, which...
Simon and Garfunkel.
Simon and Garfunkel.
Okay. I know the Aretha Franklin version, so...
Which, you know, if you think about sort of serendipitous moments in your life, if that was really the first album I ever listened to, really, we didn't listen to the radio, except for like news radio, and we didn't have a TV. I had no exposure, 0, to popular music. And the first popular music I was ever exposed to in a concentrated way was one of the greatest albums of all time. That's like if the first novel you read was War and Peace, or if the first scientist you met was like Einstein, or, you know what I mean? It's like incredibly lucky. To this day, I remember exactly what it was like to listen to all those songs.
Well, I was going to ask you, what was it about that record that spoke to you at the time?
It's funny, because I then later, 40 years later, did an audiobook with Paul Simon, where I interviewed him for like 40 hours, and which was this great sort of full circle. But I think it was, I hadn't realized how much joy there could be in pop music. Remember, I had no exposure to it. If you have no exposure, you have no emotional context for it. So I didn't know what pop music was supposed to be. All I knew was church music. I knew music that was supposed to be kind of ceremonial and formal and kind of weighted with moral meaning. I didn't know joy in music. I knew nursery rhymes, but they were silly. They weren't joyful. That album is, you know, Cecilia and that drum solo and right. On and on and on. And then the kind of, in the middle of it is this, they drop the bomb of Bridge Over Troubled Water, which is like a full-on gospel song sung by 2 Jewish guys from Queens.